Pastor James, we hear no audio from either microphone. Pastor James, you're muted. We hear no sound. Pastor James, we hear no sound.
Also, we have Sarah Esquire. She is the Executive Director, International Center for Human Rights, Non-Violence and Safety Awareness. Security and humanitarian support. That's Assistant Professor.
So today I will say greatest students because you are the most important people here today. If you notice, I'm looking at you, I'm not even looking at our yes. So I'll start by greeting you before I greet my special guests. Greatest students! That means that maybe our students will teach you what to do. Greatest is a country student! Greatest is a country student! Our special guest speaker, you're welcome. Greatest students, you're welcome. Today is the day. Can you hear me right? So we don't have to go far. Today is the day that we celebrated all over the world. Hello? Thank you. Today, 26th of November, is celebrated all over the world as the International Day for elimination of violence against women and girls. Now, before I came here, I went on our staff platform, and one of our faculty members posted something. And what he posted is here, I'll just read the title. He said, domestic violence, 340 husbands beaten by their wives. And that if husbands are now beaten by their wives, why don't we have an international day for eliminating violence against men? How many men support that? Wow. Which means you need to form a formidable force to make sure that the UN will sign a day like this for men. In the past, men don't talk about it because they are all macho. They feel that talking about it will be being weak. And when you talk about it, they say, this man is too weak, this man is too weak. Okay. And some hear it and they are beating themselves. But today we are talking about women. Because a lot of women go through this violence. Allow me to read what we have written by the United Nations. This year's program is termed investing in the prevention of violence against women and girls. Investing in the prevention of violence against women and girls. Usually when you get the word investment, what comes to your mind? Something that you sow and reap, right? You put something and then you gain something, isn't it? So, and somebody will ask, how would you invest in violence? Invest to prevent violence against women and girls. And they have the hashtag no excuse. Violence against women and girls remain one of the most prevalent and pervasive human rights violations in the world. Globally, an estimated 736 million women, almost 1 in 3, have been subjected to physical and or sexual intimate partner violence. Now, I've thought there a little, and I've heard out a lot of studies in this area, and especially intimate partner violence. The last research we carried out among university students, it shows that out of every 10 university students, 1 reports that each time she goes out with her boyfriend, she gets molested one way or the other, or she's told to do things that she does not want to do. So that's like a direct report data. It's not like you read it somewhere in the research area, just to confirm what is written by the United Nations. Almost 1 in 3 have been subjected to physical or sexual intimate partner violence. Non-partner sexual violence or both, at least once in their lifetime. This report has intensified in different settings, including the workplace. We are beginning to see more of workplace violence now. Unnecessary touching, unnecessary, it comes in different forms and has been. The solution lies in robust responses, including investment in prevention. However, alarming data on how much nations are committing to counteract violence against women and girls remain glaringly bad. That is, how much are our nations willing to invest in these prevention programs? How much are institutions willing to invest in prevention programs? How much is the University of Ibadan willing to invest in prevention programs? This is what this year's theme is all about. So we need more investment in women's organizations. We need better legislation, prosecution, and more services for survivors. Because another thing we talk about is those who have survived it. It's one thing to be a victim, it's another thing to survive it. Some don't live to tell the story. Example is the story of who? Story of who? Ostinachi. She never lived to tell how the side of the story. Her story was told after she passed. And after her, a lot of women came out to say that they are going through the same thing. We have a lot of women that are suffering and smiling, especially once they have children. They don't want to live anymore. They consider the children and then they remain in those violent relationships. I'm hoping that by the end of today's meeting, our speakers will be able to give us ways out and to find solutions to what we can do to invest in programs that will educate people. Now, education is not for women, the girls alone, it's for everybody. Domestic violence is one of it, but violence particularly against an intimate partner, especially women, is not acceptable. It's not acceptable against men too, but today, allow us to talk about women. Okay? So you're all welcome to the department. I welcome Dr. Danjibo. Dr. Danjibo is our immediate past head of department. I welcome him. I also welcome Dr. Lanley. Dr. Lanley is from LASCO, and he has a lot of students. I don't know why your students are not here like that, Dr. Lanley. If quarter of the students you get here, this hall will not contain them. And ladies and gentlemen, please, your opinions will be there. What is time for interaction on how we can solve this problem of violence against women and the girl child. Recently, we've seen videos of women being kidnapped and their past youth. They remove their breasts, they remove their private parts, and all of that for ritual. A lot of these ritual killings are going on, and girls especially are victims of these ritual killings. So I welcome all the speakers, and let us enjoy today. Thank you.
A round of applause for AHIABGA-TV, please, everybody. Thank you, ma'am. All right, so we'll be inviting Comrade Ibekwe, the class governor, as we commence with the lecture, to introduce our first speaker. A round of applause for Comrade Ibekwe, everybody.
Great UI students, great visitors, you're all welcome to this wonderful program today. I'll be asking that the Zoom link be connected now so that we can have our speaker, Ambassador Dr. Anita Mack name, so that I can read her citation. Thank you. Okay. Ambassador Dr. Anita Mack is a disciple maker of Jesus Christ. She's wife to Maurice and a boy mom. She's a nursing professor and a Bible teacher who mentors many women in Title II womanhood. In September 2013, she founded Lifestyle Image Network, an organization with goals of winning souls and winning marriages through discipleship, mentorship, and ambassadorship. She sits on the board of 2 nonprofits and on directional leadership team as missions minister of the Single Church in her efforts to regularly back to the community and abroad. She's also a certified human rights consultant with the United States Institute of Diplomacy and Human Rights. Her first book, called The Titus 10, made the bestsellers list in evangelism on Amazon in 2016. It instructs women in 10 things they should be striving to be, and also to be teaching other women. It is curriculum for the WIN groups and studies her anointed devotion, volume libraries, included 52 weeks devotional journal that guide the reader in how to become saturated in the word of God for themselves. Dr. McNay is also the lead digital branding consultant from MIT Creative LLC. During the week, you can find her as a professor teaching at her local nursing college, leading marriage and discipleship group with her husband, writing on their marriage blog, Working Together Towards God. Okay. Ma, please, could you stand up for your citation, please? Are you on with us?
Hello, I am.
Okay. Thank you very much. Please, could you stand up for? Okay, thank you very much. So, during the week, you can find her as a professor teaching at her local nursing college, leading marriage and discipleship groups with her husband, writing on their marriage blog, Working Together Towards God. On her podcast for wives, singing or playing virtual and augmented reality games with her 2 sons, On weekends, she puts on her ministry hat, facilitating women's Bible study, traveling and speaking in conferences, churches, and worldwide venues, volunteering and being active on community charities. She also hosts an annual caregiver sisters retreat and is a member of multiple organizations, including the Global Women's Alliance, Women Helping Women Foundation, and the World Humanitarian Organization for Peace and Equity. Anita was acknowledged with a honorary degree of divinity in 2013 and an honorary doctorate in humanitarianism in 2023. She is a licensed and ordained mission minister and chaplain, as well as a global peace ambassador at large with roaming to the United Nations. Her eternal passion is her Savior Jesus Christ. Her love is her family. Her mission is making disciples. She's currently pursuing her PhD. Find more information at anitamartney.com. Contributing author, Voices from Edge, Mystery to Miracle, Nothing Happens in the Grave, The Marriage Bed of Rose, January 2023, Women Are Stronger Together, October 2023. Please join me as we put our hands together. Welcome, Ambassador Martney. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much for having me this afternoon. It is a pleasure to be here today. Thank you so very much to Chaplain James Mercy O and to WOPE for this invitation. I am honored to be here with you today. Today, I am speaking on the topic about cyber violence and how this affects women. My topic is peaceful steps to eradicating cyber violence among women. This is an act of tech-based, gender-based violence that results in or is likely to result in physical, sexual, or psychological harm or suffering to women, including public or private threats. This was the definition given by the United Nations General Assembly Resolution 48104 and was adopted at that time. The United Nations Women with UNICEF, UNDP, and UNIDO published a guide for women and girls to prevent and respond to cyber violence in 2021. This is any kind of violence that can happen online for women, for girls, actually for anyone. So today, I will share with you several do's and don'ts that anyone can employ, but especially women and girls. Things that happen online can also lead to other physical and sexual violence among women, which is never, never acceptable. So I will attempt to share my screen so that I can share with you some do's and don'ts for women and girls who may be encountering cyber violence, in hopes that you too can make sure that this never happens to you or any of your loved ones. Here are some do's to prevent cyber violence. Do consider using a pseudonym instead of your real identity as your personal email address or username, particularly if you feel uncomfortable when using online sites. It's okay to name yourself something different. Do avoid using your professional email address for personal internet activities. Work should be separate from professional. Do always set up your social media and online profiles yourself so that you have control over the information that you desire to share. And do consider with whom you share your phones and your personal data. You don't want to share with everyone. Also, you want to make sure you use your device's personal security settings so you can better protect yourself, and use security measures on all of your digital devices, such as antivirus software, making sure that you have MFA or multi-factor authentication. There are a lot of cyber bullies, cyber threats online. You do want to also ensure that your password is strong and secure. Create a strong password that is unique to every single site, service, and account that you use. Make it easy to remember so you don't have to write these things down. You want to also regularly change your passwords to maximize your personal device's security. This should happen at least 2 to 3 times a year. You want to keep your software updated to ensure that exploits and vulnerabilities are quickly patched. And do transmit sensitive information only when connected to secure known networks. You also want to be cautious of requests you receive online for people asking your personal information, personal phone number, your address, your password, where you live, where you work, can reveal information that they can use to harass you later on. Also, do make ample use of available security settings and tools. Reset your account passwords regularly. Do conduct internet searches on your own name. Google your name so you can see who has access to your information. And do limit the information that you share, such as your location and your phone number. There are also a few things that you do not want to do in order to prevent cyber violence. Do not share intimate pictures with anyone online, even people you trust. Once your fingerprints digitally are on the internet, it really cannot be erased, even if you think you have erased it. Do not share picture or video files of your friends and family without their consent, especially children. And do not share you or your friends' personal information on public forums or chat servers. I actually have 2 sons who are teenagers, and I encourage them, do not have too many social media accounts. Do not share our address, phone number, all of those personal things. Do not feel obligated to provide personal information when filling in optional fields. If it says optional, don't fill it in. It's not necessary. And do not give your passwords to anyone or share them. And do not attack or insult anyone in any discussion groups. This is also a form of cyber violence. So, to respond to cyber violence, what do we do? You do seek help from someone that you trust. For girls, you want to speak to a trusted adult that you feel safe talking to. It can be parents, it can be a close family member, another trusted adult, a school counselor, a teacher, your pastor, someone. For women, it can be your husband, it can be a family member, your employer, a religious leader, or a trusted friend. But do clearly express dislike and ask the person to stop. You do not want to be harassed. You do not want explicit information or photo. The perpetrator may not believe that by not complaining, you are consenting. You do not want to consent. Do prevent further communication from perpetrators by blocking people. It's okay to block them. Block their email, cell phone number, delete and block from social media contacts. Do save evidence. If you have received abusive emails, text messages, screenshots of social media posts to show what took place when you sought support, save all of these things to your personal files. Take a picture so that you have evidence for the authorities. Do distance yourself from phones, laptops, and technology, and do other alternative activities. You do not have to be online all the time. The more time you spend with activities that relax you, the less significant cyber violence will have on your life. This will boost your self-esteem, increase your resilience, and lessen the sense of being overwhelmed by the negative impacts of cyber violence. And do share your feelings. Expressing what you've experienced or what you're going through can make a huge difference in how you feel. Seek help from a professional counselor and do contact the police if you feel unsafe or if abuse worsens. Also, when responding to cyber violence, there's never any reason for you to put up with any kind of cyber violence. Violence is violence. It affects you psychologically, mentally. It is not good for your mental health to be harassed online. So do not blame yourself. It's not your fault. No matter what a perpetrator says or does, you should not be ashamed of who you are or what you feel. The bully is the person with the problem, not you. So don't let the situation get you down. and don't dwell on it, but instead try to focus on positive experiences. One thing that I tell my sons to do is to pray. Do other alternative activities. You don't have to watch everything. You don't have to have fear of missing out on things that are happening online. And do not respond by email or text when you're angry or upset. This is not a good time to be online. Wait till you are calm and composed, and then you can decide what to do. Sometimes a reaction is just what the perpetrators are looking for because they think it gives them power over you. But this can generate a chain of reactions that can be harmful. Do not engage in question and answer scenarios that make you feel uncomfortable. That's a time to disengage. And please do not seek revenge. Getting back at a perpetrator for retaliation will make the problem even worse. It could result in serious or even legal consequences for you. For cyber violence to stop, it has to be identified, and reporting is key. Reporting can also help to show the perpetrators that their behavior is unacceptable. If you don't report incidents, the perpetrator may continue and become more aggressive. If you feel you are in immediate danger, do not hesitate to contact the police. It's very important for you as students, as moms, as dads, as anyone who interacts online, even as a business person, to protect your business, to protect your person, to protect your possessions, and for your children. On this International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women and Against Girls, we want to make sure that we are being vigilant in this area of cyber violence. Thank you again for this time to present. God bless you.
Uba, we hear no sound. Dr. James, we hear no sound from Uba.
Ambassador Andrew, I can't hear you.
We hear no sound. We hear no sound. No audio.
She got her doctorate of political science. She was the biggest representing Oyo State at the National Executive Council and she is also the adopted daughter of Ambassador, former President of Federal Republic of Nigeria. His Excellency Dr. Goodluck Jonathan. She is the proprietress of LEX TV, with branches in 5 states of the Federation. She is the director of Texton International Corporation. She is presently the president of the Southern Women's Forum with over 5 million women membership across the country. With which she earned Professor of Humanity from the prestigious College of Chaplains and Psychology and affiliate of Africa, American University Port Novo. She is married with wonderful children and grandchildren. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Eli Taiwo Adebaki-Adeni.
Great Nigeria students. I can't hear you very clear. Great Nigerian students. I'm happy to be in your presence today. And it is a great honor to be one of the invited guests and the guest speaker here today in this wonderful event. I bring you greetings from the former president of Nigeria, President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, and his dear wife, Dame Patience Jonathan. I'd like to appreciate our HOD of this great department for giving me the honor to be invited here as a guest speaker in today's event. I pray God Almighty to continue to strengthen you by the special grace of God. I wish to honor the other guest speaker and the VIPs and my beautiful students that are also here today. I pray Lord Almighty to take you back to your destination safely in Jesus' name. I'm here to speak on the topic, investing in the prevention of violence against women and girls. A speech delivered by Honorable Dr. Eli Taiwo Adebaki-Adeni at the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women held at the Department of Peace, Security and Humanitarian Studies, University of Ibadan, on the 25th day of November 2023. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. Oh, sorry, good afternoon. We are already 12 o'clock. Today, we are gathered here to commemorate the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women. It is a day that reminds us of the ongoing battle for gender equality and the urgent need to put an end to all forms of violence against women. This day serves as a powerful reminder that violence against women is not a woman's issue alone, but a human rights issue that affects us all. This day serves as a powerful reminder that violence against women is not a human issue alone, but a human rights issue that affects you all, that affects us all. The impact of violence against women and girls. They'll be showing it on the screen because yes, they'll show on the screen. Impact of violence against women and girl child. It strengthens sorry, it threatens rights to, let me use my paper. So I can be saying it after the other. Let me go to my, sorry. I'm sorry, I'll start from again. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today we gather here to commemorate the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women. It is a day that reminds us of the ongoing battle for gender equality and the urgent need to put an end to all forms of violence against women. This day serves as a powerful reminder that violence against women is not a human issue alone, but a human rights issue that affects us all. I am honored to be here today to speak to you about a topic that affects millions of women and girls around the world. Violence. Violence against women and girls is one of the most widespread, persistent, and devastating human rights violations in our world today. It threatens rights to which every woman and girl is entitled: the right to education, the right to work, the right to physical and mental well-being, and the right to equality. Violence against women is a global pandemic that knows no boundaries. It transcends borders, culture, socio-economic backgrounds. It affects women of all ages, races, religion, and sexual orientations. It is a violation of human rights, an obstacle to gender equality, and a barrier to social and economic development. According to the World Health Organization, globally, about 1 in 3, that is 30% of women worldwide, have been subjected to either physical or sexual intimate partner violence, non-partner sexual violence, or both at least once in their life. In some regions, the prevalence is even higher, reaching up to 45%. Violence can negatively affect women's physical, mental, sexual, and reproductive health, and may increase the risk of acquiring HIV in some settings. Violence also has a significant economic cost, estimated at $1.5 trillion globally in 2016. This means that in this room, there are likely several women who have suffered silently, afraid to speak out or seek help. The COVID-19 pandemic has exacerbated the situation as lockdowns, isolation, and stress have increased the exposure of women and girls in abusive partners, reduced their access to support services, and limited their ability to seek help. The UN Secretary General has called the rise of violence against women and girls during the pandemic a shadow pandemic that requires urgent actions. Today, we stand together to break the silence, to raise awareness, and demand change. We must create a society where no woman lives in fear, where our human rights are respected, and where she can strive without the threat of violence. But any violence against women is not just about preventing harm. It's also about empowering women and ensuring their full participation in all aspects of life. We must create an environment where women can exercise their civic rights, access education, healthcare, and economic opportunity. We must amplify their voices and ensure their inclusion in decision-making processes. Ladies and gentlemen, we cannot afford to ignore this crisis any longer. We cannot allow violence against women and girls to continue to undermine their dignities, their potentials, and their contribution to society. We cannot let violence against women and girls hinder our progress towards achieving that sustainable development goals, especially goals on gender equality and women empowerment. To achieve this, we must address the root causes of violence against women. We must challenge the patriarchal norms and attitudes that perpetuate gender inequalities. We must educate our children, both girls and boys, to reject violence and embrace respect and equality. We must dismantle the system that enables violence to flourish and hold perpetrators accountable for their actions. We need to invest in the elimination of violence against women and girls, not only because it is the right thing to do, but also because it is the smart thing to do. Investing in the elimination of violence against women and girls has multiple benefits, such as saving lives and improving health outcomes of women and girls, as well as their families and communities. Enhancing women and girls' education, skill and employment opportunities, and increasing their income and productivity. Reducing the burden on health, social and justice systems, and freeing up resources for other development priorities. Promoting social cohesion, peace and security, and strengthening the rule of law and human rights. Empowering women and girls to participate fully and equally in all spheres of life and to become agents of change and leaders in their own rights. Ladies and gentlemen, how can we invest in the elimination of violence against women and girls? There is no one-size-fits-all solution, but there are some proven strategies and best practices that we can learn from and adopt to our context. Some of these include prevention, ending violence against women and girls before it even occurs, by addressing the root causes, risk factors, such as gender inequalities, discrimination, harmful norms and practices, and lack of education and awareness. Prevention also involves engaging men and boys as allies and positive role models, and empowering young people to challenge violence and promote respect and equality. Protection, ensuring that women and girls who experience violence have access to safe, confidential, and quality services, such as shelters, hotlines, counseling, legal aid, and health care. Protection also involves strengthening the capacity and accountability of the police, the judiciary, and other institutions to respond effectively and sensitively to cases of violence against women and girls. Participation, supporting the voices and leadership of women and girls, especially survivors and activists, in decision-making processes and platforms that affect their lives and rights. Participation also involves strengthening the roles and resources of women, organizations, and movements, which are at the forefront of the fight against violence against women and girls. Partnership, building coalitions and network among different stakeholders, such as government, civil societies, the private sector, the media, the academia, the UN system, and the donor communities, to coordinate actions, share experience, and mobilize resources for the elimination of violence against women and girls. partnership also involve fostering a culture of solidarity and mutual support among women and girls and across different groups and sectors to amplify their voices and impact. Ladies and gentlemen, investing in the elimination of violence against women and girls is not only a moral obligation, but also a strategic opportunity. It is an opportunity to transform our societies, to advance our development, and to realize our common vision of a world where women and girls live free from fear and violence, and to enjoy their full and equal rights. Today, let us recommit ourselves to the cause of eliminating violence against women. Let us pledge to create a world where every woman can live free from fear and violence. Together, we can make a difference and build a future where gender equality is not just a dream, but a reality. I urge you all to join me in this endeavor and to make the elimination of violence against women and girls a priority in your policies, programs, and budgets. Together, we can end this surge and create a safer, fairer, and more prosperous world for all. Thank you very much. I also want to use this opportunity to present a token gift to the HOD of this department, a gift from Good Lord Jonathan Foundation, which was signed and stamped by the former president himself, to the department of, to this department. It's just a token gift from His Excellency. He asked me to give this book to you to put in one of your libraries about the traditional and also the perspective of the future elections in Africa. So on behalf of the Good Lord Jonathan Foundation, I'm presenting this to you on behalf of His Excellency Good Lord Jonathan. Thank you.
We thank our former president of this presentation. Thank you, madam. Thank you for the wonderful lectures.
Thank you, ma'am, for that wonderful speech. It was very intense. I really enjoyed it. And I'm sure that everybody enjoyed it, especially our children. Am I correct? All right. Thank you very much, ma'am. And for the specialty. Okay, so right now, next we're going to call on Professor Florence. So,
No.
Yes. I don't know. Let me ask.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Chaplain J. Basically,
she's not the one that is showing.
Executive Officer for all humanitarian organizations for peace and equity. And I'm here today to education. And we have this for special guests that I just spoke now. So on behalf of the Economic Council for World Humanitarian Organization, what will be to the next of this program the presentees to Dr. Elliot, the performances, contributions to humanitarian. This is very privileged. Thank you. I want to put our hands together.
On behalf of permit me to give the honor to our head of the department. All right, thank you very much for this honor. All right, on behalf of the World Humanitarian Organization for Peace and Equity, humanitarian recognition or certificate of award proudly presented to Dr. Helen Adebakin for the outstanding contribution towards human development, community empowerment, and nation building, dated November 25th, 2023. Permit me to first of all, on behalf of
Alpha, how you program?
Well, on behalf of the Department of Peace, Security, and Humanitarian Studies, Student Association, DEXA, of the University of Ibadan, permit me to present this award of recognition presented to Honorable Dr. Helen Taiwo Adebakin Adeniyi, the proprietress Elextini Group of Schools, in recognition of an excellently delivered speech as guest speaker at the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women, dated November 23, 2023.
That's what it is. Please, what's wrong, my drink?
Thank you very much for this great award. On behalf of my forum, Southern Women Forum, I say a big thank you to you. And also on behalf of my father, my mentor, the former president of Jonathan, I say a big thank you to you. So when I get home, I will present all this award to him, and I'll get back to you on what they will do for the department. Thank you very much. I'm sorry I have to take my leave because I need to go with 3 p.m. flight back to Abuja to go and meet you for a meeting. Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be in your midst. I really appreciate you for inviting me. It's a great honor, and I pray God Almighty to continue to uplift you all and take you all to your promised land in Jesus' name. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, ma'am, for coming. And thank you for honoring his wife. And please, very quickly, once again, give her a round of applause as she leaves, please. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for all the gifts, the organizers, both organizations. We are very, very grateful. Okay, so now, please permit me to introduce the next speaker, in person of Professor Florence Akumu. She is the founder and the president of Open Gate Theological Institute and Seminary, Confident Women on Edge Network, Global Human Rights Defense Organization, Plain of Zion Worship Center. Okay, please, once again, I call on Professor Florence Akumu to give us a wonderful speech. Please, a round of applause. We're preparing her to come on Zoom.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's 6:30 here in the US, New York, and I think it is 12:30 in Nigeria and West Africa as a whole, and maybe 2 o'clock in East Africa. I am humbled to be with you all here this afternoon and morning in the United States. I celebrate you all. Dr. James, can you hear me?
Have you taken the drug?
Yes, proceed, please.
Thank you, sir. I celebrate all the distinguished guests that are in the room and the students and all the honorables as we just have to release Mrs. Dr. I can't pronounce that name, but pardon me, who have just left. Great assistance to the former president, Dr. Goodluck in Nigeria. Mama, we are humbled to hear you speaking and empowering us this morning and afternoon, and my fellow sister, Professor Anita McCanney in Ohio, and all the other guest speakers, and our host, Honorable Dr. Chaplain James Messi, who have given us this platform to be here. I will not take much of your time, but I believe that today is a very special day, the November 25th, 2023, eliminating the violence against women and girls in our society. Listening to all the other speakers, it was an awesome note that we took as understanding that violence is not being done only on men, only on women, but also on men. A statistic was given about 360 women beat up their men or beat up their husbands. But today we will be talking about women because the world understands that women are the weaker sex, and naturally they are, because they were created out of man to be a helper to a man. And so I will just go straight to the point and to tell you, students and all our distinguished guests that are gathered in the room, to understand one thing, that for you to be a great and successful man or woman, you must understand the bedrock of parenting, good parenting. And when we talk about good parenting, we are talking how a child or a male child, a female child is being raised and then carried out into the future. For you to eliminate this wonderful, diabolic and disgusting action of human, you must first of all know where you are coming from. So I'll be speaking straightly on good parenting and self-discovery, and I will be very fast with you guys this morning and this afternoon. Knowing what is good parenting, it's very important, or being a good parent is very important, and knowing who you are in this society. A good parent will be a model to their children, because the seed that you are sowing in your house, it is a seed that the children will grow and take it far away into the future, even in their relationship and marriage and work of place. What do I mean by that? I am saying in a nutshell that as a father, as a mother, I know that we are living in the arena of technology, that most of us don't have the time to be there to nurture and to parent and to raise our children in the proper ways. Especially many of us that are in the Western world, we are working 24 hours and we leave the TV there to be the instructor to our children. We leave some nannies that you don't understand the background that they are coming from to be the leaders to our children. But I want to bring us back home to understand that God gave you those children. And because God gave you those children, the Bible makes us to understand, and permit me to use that because that is my foundation in this life. That's my fundamental. In as much as we have human right, we have all this right, but the first right began in the Bible, the mirror of this world. Whether you are a scholar, whether you are a philosopher, whatever you call yourself, if you do not know the bedrock of this Bible, you might have your own belief, but if you do not know, the life that you are living will be a lot of challenge. And I'm specifically speaking to those that are Christians on this arena. So Jesus, or God, made us to understand in Genesis chapter 2, verse 18, that women will be a helpmate. And when he said that, he meant everything. And he went to Genesis chapter 18, verse 19. And I want to read this very clearly. I'm talking of good parenting. It said, for I know him that he will command his children and his household after him, and they shall keep the way of the Lord to do justice. We are talking today about eliminating violence against women because there are no justice. And you can see that this started right in the biblical arena, justice and judgment that the Lord may bring upon Abraham, that which had been spoken on him. Today we are living and tell ourselves, oh, the child has to do what he wants to do. Do what he wants to do to go and die. Do what he wants to do to kill people. If you cannot nurture that child from home and show the child how this life is all about, what you are investing in that child will take it out there, and continue and think that it is a norm and it is normal. And so we as parents have to stop it right now and this moment, and not leaving this to go in the hands of the government. The government did not give birth to you for that child. You did it. And because you and your husband, or how you came about with it, you have to build a bedrock of that child that will be a great leader in our society and not become a wife beater or a husband beater or being abused to all arena of life because you as a father did not see or did not put the good foundation in that family. That's number one. And so know that for everything we do in life, it is a seed. It is a seed that is waiting for the future for you tomorrow. And so for this state that we are today, there's nothing wrong with all the organizations, United Nations, Human Rights, World Health Organization, all this, they are good. But I believe so much, this is my ideology. It begins with us. It begins with the human being themselves in their home. And if you can figure out and fix it and humble and see the other partner as your friend and see the other one as a mate that you guys can join together and raise a child, and the child become a great leader in the society, then it will make a difference. It's one way I think we can eliminate violence in our society. It begins with the family. It begins with the family. And I want you to take note. A great man said something, and most of you know him. And I want to quote what he said. He said, this is, I think, Pastor Bishop Oyedapo, Dr. Oyedapo made a very powerful statement that I love. It says, when you do not, as a parent, you do not invest in the life of your children and you are petting them, it is a destruction that is on the way, waiting for them, and not only them, but the whole of the generation of their children. Good and successful parenting is very important. That will eliminate a lot of the value system that we have today, and especially to the weaker sex. We need to learn the demand for successful parenting. It is very important. For anything you do in life, it's a seed. It's a seed whose harvest is waiting for you tomorrow, which is what you find today happening in families, in our society, as denoted in Genesis 18:19. And by so doing, they become a great nation, a great lineage, and a great prize. God said, command and not to pet. Proverbs 22, verse 6, train a child, a violent boy or a violent girl is what he or she have seen happening in the house. Now, don't get me wrong. There are parents who have invested their time. Fathers that have invested their time in the life of the children, but you have maybe a mother who is out of order from her own parental home. And when you find that the child is confused in the house, Bible makes us to understand, can two work together except they agree? Until both family agreed, then they can move forward. And it is time for you all to understand who you are as student. I will not take much of your time. I just wanted to put this little story there for you all. And know who you are, and young men and women in the master and the PhD, please nurture your home and be the great leader. Thank you all.
Thank you so much.
Pastor James, we hear no sound. Uba has to make sure sound is streaming from your side. Pastor James, we hear nothing on this side. Uba or Simeon needs to share their sound. Pastor James, we cannot hear from your side. We need Uba or Simeon to share their sound.
Establish that. On the 19th of November 2023 was designated as International Day for Men. I'm not sure many men know that they have a day now to celebrate men. Do you know? You had it. Okay. Now all laws are there. Is enforcement, is mobilization, awareness that will, of course, activate it. Nobody, especially women, we advocate for men's rights unless you begin to advocate for your right by yourself. So, if you are waiting for women to begin to celebrate So I want as a point of men that in the national day of violence against the rate of violence, to invite us to talk about your day. I'm not going to talk about violence against men today. I'm going to talk about violence against women because women are the ones that have decided to amplify their rights. Nobody will amplify your rights for you. You definitely have to organize yourself, begin to talk about issues relating to them. Violence against women. Why must we prevent violence against women? We must prevent violence against women because women are human beings. The United Nations Charter on Human Rights in 1945 stated clearly there that we must give access to everyone, equal access, equal opportunity. It made it a very, very important policy, non-discriminatory policy, that in promoting human rights, they must promote it on the basis of equal access to opportunities for everyone. Are there laws that prevent violence against women? We have more than enough laws. That aspect of law is over-legislated, I can tell you. UDHR talked about party rights for everybody. Everyone is born free and equal in rights and dignity, including women. That is Article 1 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, 1948. UI is 75. United Nations is 75. So UI is a unity. We cannot promote world peace and unity by leaving behind people who feel that they are not protected. Before we talk about violence against women, we must talk about violence against the girl child. The girl child grow up and end up becoming a woman. So as a girl child, do you feel safe? When you go to party, you say, but if they don't feel safe elsewhere, and issue of domestic violence is on the increase, that means even that home that they feel safe is no longer safe. These girls will become mothers. When you battle them as girls, and you expect them to produce wonderful and unbattered children, you are deceiving yourself. They cannot give what they don't have. So they only give what they have by correcting your precious children by beating them. Because the only way they are taught how to correct, how they were corrected as a child was through beating. So we must invest in preventing violence against the girl child. That is the only way we can prevent violence against women. Because they grew up as child before they become what? Women. We have laws that protect women. I'm talking about the UDHR. We have the CEDAW, that is Covenant on Elimination of All Forms of Violence Against Women, 1981. This laws have been there. As the laws increase, the violence against women increase. So to tell you that it's not laws that prevent violence, it's human beings that must accept such laws to prevent violence against each other. Violence against women comes in different forms. And usually nobody is born with sword in his hand. They are taught to be violent. The environment encourages violence, especially the African environment encourages violence. In my office, when couples come to me and say, oh, we are having issues. My wife is insulting me, my husband is beating me, or my wife is beating me. Yes, I've represented so many men who have been violated, not just verbally, but physically by their wives. It's on the increase. Why? The woman said it's self-defense. He's the one that has been teaching me how to fight. So I give this one this time to defend myself. And this defense now is becoming life-threatening. I'm going to court on Friday to defend a man. When his wife assaulted him, he went to the police station and they laughed at him. I said, how can you come and report that your wife got a weakling? But when they met the male lawyer laughed at him and said, see, just carry yourself home and be a man. Know how to be a man. The man said, I don't want to violate this woman. I don't want to beat her. He said, when they born you for America. They born you for this Nigeria. Go and learn how African men treat their wives. Oh. They call it reasonable chastisement. There was a provision like that in our laws. And women push it to the point that that provision has been removed. That provision gave men, under the penal code, it gave men the opportunity or the privilege or the right to beat their wife to correct them. It's called reasonable chastisement. But that law has been repealed, thanks to women, because we couldn't accept such laws. We push it to the point that when they did they formulated the Administration of Criminal Justice Act, we made sure that that law did not see the light of the day. That is one way you can prevent violence against women, by questioning legislations that permit violence against women. We must question it. We must look at our laws. We must look at harmful traditional practices that encourages violence against women. We must begin to question such practices. Widows, as a woman, it does not matter the level you are. Whether you are a girl, you are faced with what? With violence. When you get married, your husband is there to violate you. When you become a widow, your husband, people, and the society again will begin to violate you. So there is no aspect of your life. When you become old, we have more of witches, women. They hardly accuse men of wizardry. There's women that say that witches, so that woman is witch. She's an old woman, so she's a witch. Why? Because they believe as a woman, everything about you is negative. We must begin to do what? We define such, begin to prevent such narratives. Such narratives are bad. Boys, don't beat your sisters. When your sisters do something wrong, you must find a
Pastor James, your side is frozen. Pastor James, your side is frozen.
It's 90% of women around the world have been raped. Now, if they want to seek justice, they will need 90 lawyers or thereabouts to defend them, isn't it? So, how many female lawyers do we even have? How much do the victims even have to begin to defend themselves? Litigation is expensive. I'm a lawyer, I can tell you that. And we run a kind of system that puts the so the suspect that violates a woman, that will go and You see how he has done my chest. I know in a country where our place is not even as getting lost for victims. So most times, the woman won't trust him because of violence. But I got for phones. My husband got me. Well, they may be have face. But the truth is, like I said, the one defending the one, I go to jail. So she's bringing all these allegations against me. So you must look at it and see that what can I do to prevent violence? Yeah. If going to certain parties will expose you to violence, please don't go. If wearing certain clothes to certain environments will open you to rape, although yes, it's not an excuse. I'm talking about prevention. That's what you must do. You understand? Not even give them the opportunity to say, okay, it is because of this or that. If you must go out in groups, you don't take drinks that are open. It could be drunk. So find ways that you go out, ask yourself, if anything happens, what will be my defense? Will I be a victim in this circumstance or not? So think prevention. Don't think prosecution. Prosecution is there. The laws are there. PPHL, the 1999 Constitution, Chapter 4, has 11 rights. Right not to suffer discrimination as a girl child. These men, they know the law, but they also know that it's easy for the camera to pass through the eyes of the needle than for you to prove one case against them. And most men know how to what? Destroy evidence. When they took even your phone, they'll do what? They will take the phone from you. They will smash the phone. They'll say, delete it, if not, you will not leave this place. And then you come out and be raped. So guys say, go and have your back. Why did they tell you to do that? Even when you go for medical examination, the evidence has been destroyed. So when you come to me and look at it, evidence to prove rape. It's not just a tongue cloth, battered body, and the rest. I may begin to use circumstantial evidence. That's why most times you see women go to social media and begin to put what sentiment. You understand? Like the Fato Yibo case. The woman came and said, I was raped. The truth is that yes, she may have been raped. But look at the time she brought in this. The evidence have gone. When she went to court, the court land had damages against Fato Yibo. Why? Because she could not prove her case. So don't think, oh, women rights organizations are there. WOP is there to help me fight for my rights. I will, even if I get hurt, even if I'm violated, they are there to defend me. There are so many people that are out there seeking for justice. We must invest in public interest litigation. UN and other organizations, we must invest in organizations that represent women in court to gather evidence, to do victim protection. Sometimes victims are threatened. They are threatened. So when they come to report, and the one that police will say, oh, we don't have paper, give us money for paper, give us this, give us that. Now, my body is paining me. I've been beaten, I've been raped, and you're asking me to start paying for A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. It will discourage me. In no time, the suspect will start laughing. He goes back and he do the same thing. And so that is the reason why, with all the laws, there's a Violence Against Persons Act, there is a domestic violence prevention law, there's a child rights law. I can count them. Nigeria is a signatory to almost all the laws, governance that UN has. Yet, victims are not getting enough justice. Why? prevention is better and cheaper than cure. So we must invest in what? Education and awareness creation. We must tell our children it's wrong to violate anybody. Schools must set out a week or a day, anti-bullying week, anti-bullying day. Organization, institutions must set out non-discrimination policy, no to violence policy at the place of work, and also sanction anybody who commits who goes against such rules. They must have it in their handbook as they're employing their staff. One of the things they must tell them is that this company has zero tolerance for violence in our place of work. That means our families too will also have a policy. Call your children. I will not tolerate violence against anybody in this family. The house help will not be violated by my children. Don't think that because it's a house help, you can violate that child. Don't think that because she's a girl child, you can violate her. I'm not going to accept that. So when we have such firm policy in our homes, we're able to change the orientation of our children, and we go a long way to preventing violence, talk more about violence against women. Why? If I'm not violated as a girl, I will do as much as possible not to. I will not allow myself to be violated as a woman. If you don't violate your sisters or your girlfriend's rights, tomorrow when she becomes your wife, you definitely not violate her rights. So we must come together and invest, put our resources in education, in awareness creation, and every other thing that will prevent us from becoming victims of violence. Thank you.
A round of applause for once again. All right, so because of our time, we are moving on to the next section of the program. And then we'd like to take our two schools that we have on ground. That's Aberdeen College. We have Aberdeen College here. And then we also have God's Blessing Comprehensive College. But before we do that, we would like to present an award to our guest speaker in person of Ernest Sarah Unobe Esquire. Permit me to say, your worship, man. So, on behalf, okay, we'll be presenting the award to her, and then. All right, so we'll be calling Mr. Dapo to help us with the award presentation. Mr. Dapo, please, can you come up to the stage? A round of applause for Adani, Mr. Dapo, to help us with the award presentation. Please come on stage, man.
Remove it, remove nylon. Yeah. On behalf of the Department of Peace, Security, and Studies, we're presenting this honor to you for this wonderful presentation and for honoring us and impacting us. And we hope to see you more than we are believing that also, like this I said, this talking about.
Yeah.
Hello.
let's quickly use this opportunity as well to also present from World Humanitarian Organization for Peace and Equity another award to the distinguished humanitarian Sarah Hennex. This is Humanitarian Recognition Certificate Award presented to her for the outstanding contributions towards human development, community empowerment, and the nation building. Please, one of the committee should come out and present this to Ambassador.
Thank you very much for this award of excellence. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, the National Center for Human Rights, we are grateful for this award. I want to retaliate this gesture. I want to retaliate. Yes. Yes. I published a book titled Gender-Based Violence. Protection and prosecution. Yes, of Institute of Peace, Security Study, University of Ibadan, also presented to the students as part of my contribution in the prevention of violence against women. Thank you so very much, ma'am. A round of applause for us once again. So we are moving on to the next section now. All right, so we're on the last speaker now. Please be okay. Ambassador Dr. Tomesha Walker. Are you with us, ma'am? Are you with us, ma'am?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Okay, welcome.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Please come for a citation, please.
We hear no sound from the university. We do not hear your sound.
Walker is the founding president and CEO of Hearts for the Hopeless and the Darius P. Walker Kidney Foundation. With them, she has been able to support health and wellness through the motherhood and baby's first-year journeys. Visit BathOhio.com to learn more. The reigning Miss Elite Ohio 2023, Ohio 2023, serves as a certified dollar, childbirth educator, lactation consultant, international author and speaker who specializes in developing and implementing programs to assist pre and post-pregnancy women while providing classes and workshops through her businesses and non-profit organizations. Please join your hands as we welcome Her Excellency Ambassador Dr. Temesha D. Walker. A round of applause.
Hello, hello, hello. Are you all able to hear me all right?
Yes.
Thank you so much for welcoming us here today. Thank you for having us here. Thank you, Chaplain James, for giving us the opportunity to share this information. And thank you to all of the speakers that have gone before me. We are truly making change in our world. And so we extremely appreciate you for inviting us in to share with you some of the things that we are doing around the world and the opportunity that we have to make immediate change in our families and for the generations to come. As you hear, I work with mothers and babies. That is the heartbeat of what I do and what God has brought me into this world to assist and shift the foundation and understanding of what we are able to provide. So I'm going to speak from that area. It was so enlightening to hear about how we can support from the aspect of parenting here recently. So also, I want to share, along with the amazing stats that we have received so far, is that when we have children that are exposed to gender-based violence or domestic violence, they're most likely to have impaired cognitive function and lower educational outcomes, even exhibiting antisocial behavior. So we find also that during pregnancy, when it ranges from 3 to 9% in general samples, but it's as high as 50% that they're in certain high-risk populations, there's even more of a prevalence of this. So for us to ensure that we can make changes where we don't see the impacts of injuries, chronic pain, permanent disabilities, and even mental health, anxiety, and PTSD symptoms. We want to make sure that we are instituting positive information and positive change. So, in order to make sure that these things are happening, and also to help those survivors or people that are going through these situations not experience things like financial dependence, having nowhere to go because of a lack of shelters, or even experiencing things like custody issues and discrimination in housing, stigmas, or isolation, we can make it a goal that our attitudes and our norms are changing in our perception of how we deal with and how we see the families and mothers specifically that we work with. With the population that I spend most of my time with, being pregnant mothers and those that are newly delivered, it's so important for us to make sure that they're empowered. Many times, what I end up doing for the programs that I founded in my organization is making sure that they are educated about what their opportunities are, where they can go and seek help, what the resources are that are provided to them. See, what we're talking about here today, we hear a lot of the issues. We hear a lot of the problems. And yes, we are encouraged to make sure that we are not continuing the problems. But I also want to encourage you today to make sure that you are simply the solution in any situation or circumstance where you see issues like this going on. See, what we also teach in our realm of empowerment with our classes with mothers is about the cycle of violence and the ways that this can be perpetuated in a situation or in a family. So whether it is financial abuse, whether it is verbal abuse, whether it is emotional abuse, or the abuse of using someone's children against them, holding back your emotions from them, or keeping them in a space of isolation. When you see any of these things happening, it's time to stand up and support. We help to empower moms to understand what violence in these aspects look like and how to create boundaries. empowering themselves to be able to reach out for resources when they see that these things are happening. We have the opportunity to also encourage those families that we see to seek out the resources. Not only to seek them out, I want to encourage you as the solution to be a resource. Make sure that you know your local agencies that are able to assist, their numbers, their websites, or special people within your community that you can connect people that are experiencing, and especially women and children that we're talking about today, any type of gender-based violence. And again, as we said earlier, this goes for men and for women that need assistance. Everyone that needs you as a resource, I encourage you to be there. God tells us to make sure that we are the light, that we shine in the darkness. And in my opinion, violence is a darkness that we need to shine bright in. So I encourage you today to birth hope in your community, to shine bright and allow individuals to understand that they're not alone, that isolation is not an option, and that they do not have to be separated from their families, from their friends, from their resources, that they no longer have to receive these items no matter where they are in life and in the cycle of giving birth and giving life. I encourage you to join hands with us and remember that we create the change that needs to be seen in this world today. We've gained so much knowledge. We've gained so much information. We've learned so many tips. But I want to say, take at least one or two of the things that you have received today and put them into action. If you see someone that needs your support, support them. If you know of resources in your community that need to be shared, a place for women to go, a place where they can be empowered or educated, even if they need to be connected with the programs that we provide online or virtual assistance. Please don't just turn a blind eye, but help us to create change in this generation, in this time, and for the next generation. As I've understood in my studies, when we allow for violence to take place, to be okay, the next generation sees it as something that just is, that's just a part of everyday life, that's just an occurrence that should be. We have to stand up and say, it isn't okay. We can no longer take the injustices and the violence that we've seen. So again, in recap, my summary concerning this is that we truly are the solution. We truly are the change makers and the difference makers in our world and in our community. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to research and to talk about the tactics and intimidations that can shift a family, a woman's life, and the children that she is birthing. We no longer have to let this intimidation happen. We can choose to institute and provide the changes that needs to happen. We speak in alignment with the UN's efforts to institute and support women around the world to no longer experience gender-based violence. So I encourage you to uphold the tenets and the opportunity to live and to love those who are experiencing issues. Don't isolate them or look down on them. Encourage them, uplift them, and connect them as a resource in your community. Stand up and be the light. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
A round of applause for her once again. Thank you so very much, Mark. All right, so we will be going to the next section where we'll be having the two schools to give their speech on the topic. But before we move to that, I'll call on Chaplain James for his award presentation.
We don't want to waste time here. Please, can we put our hands together for all the speakers? Please, we can do that better. We can do it better. It's not easy to talk. Thank you. And at this junction, we want to also use this opportunity to appreciate the head of the department, HOD, of this peace, security, and humanitarian studies department of the University of Ibadan. She has been so effective and efficient when it comes to humanitarianism, peacekeeping, and all the rest. So permit us to, please, you are going to come on at this time in the name of the Governing Council of World Humanitarian Organization for Peace and Equity. And we are not giving this to the students here to do this. You permit me to call the HOD, Doctor, if you have not known her to be ambassador, maybe witnessing this award today, you will understand and know better who she is. We will first present this to her for this program. Dr. Ruth and Moses for contributing and for the outstanding contributions towards human development, community empowerment, and the nation building. And here we have other awards for the humanitarian goodwill ambassadorship. This has been our office for so many years because we organize programs, for one reason or the other, she's not available. But we have to make it happen today. If Moses should not go to the mountain, that's what we have today, please. With all due respect, Your Excellency, to the podium. She's still looking at it as if we have performing dramas here. Let me start with this. In that one, I share. If that she likes it so much, she will collect it. That is the lapel for humanitarian goodwill ambassador. Clap for your HOD. So she will not deduct your mark. You understand what I'm talking about? You don't want your mark to be deducted. This is humanitarian goodwill ambassador. Presented to Moses at the Moses on the 25th November 2023.
Once again, on behalf of the Department of Peace, Security, and Humanitarian Studies Student Institute of EHIABGA in the University of Ibadan, I would like to give this award on behalf of the Finance Committee. Award of honor presented to Associate Professor Ruth Adio-Moses, the Department of Peace, Security, and Humanitarian Studies, in appreciation of your orderly support towards the growth of the association and development of the thing in general. Please join your hands as I give my.
Lastly on this award, DJ, please. I want to present this to one of the students that volunteered to serve as a moderator in our 4 days program we have for our volunteers on sustainable development goals. And this presentation go to Elizabeth. Oh yeah, please. Please come. Come out there is from World Humanitarian Organization for Peace and Equity for volunteering with us at least to moderate training programs just for 4 days. So we appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Chaplain James Mercy, for that gift and for your presence here. Really appreciate it. Thank you, Van, for coming. And so far, I want to say that it has been really educating and nice. And now we're going on to the next item. And I will have my co-MC here to please introduce us what we're doing next.
All right, so the next section is we are going into the section of the speech delivery by the 2 secondary schools. We have Aberdeen College here, and then we have the second school here. God's Mercy College. So we are having them, and each of them, they are going to give us their view on the topic, and we are giving them 10 minutes. Let's also hear the voice of the young ones. As you can see, round of applause for them once again. All right, so we'll be having the first this month. Can we have the 2 of them, the 2 presenters for the first group? Please, the 2 presenters come here. Aberdeen College also, we are expecting your 2 presenters. All right, so God's Blessing Comprehensive College and Aberdeen College. So we will be taking God's Blessing Comprehensive College first. Yes, we'll be calling the first person. We have Ajani Shalom Ayomikosi. We have Owonomo Ola Oluwani Elizabeth.
Pastor James, your audio is frozen and your video.
Okay. Elizabeth. Aberdeen College, we have Olubode Busayo. Who is that? Okay, I think. Okay, that's not. All right, can we just recognize the two of them? Please, can I get the names, please? Recognized. All right. The first person is Salaudin Aliyah Motunrayo. A round of applause for her, please. Then we have Azuka Stephanie, who is the chief speaker for Aberdeen College. A round of applause also. All right, so we'll be calling on stage God's Blessed Comprehensive College, Ajani. Okay, we have Oluwanifemi Elizabeth first as the first speaker. Can you please come on stage? A round of applause for her as she comes.
Good day, everyone. Good day, Mr. Chairman, distinguished guests, and all protocols duly observed. My name is Awolo Oluwanifemi Elizabeth, and with me is today we'll be expanding on the topic which states women are more affected by violence in the society. Before I proceed, I'll provide some key points. Who is a woman? A woman is a wonderful, marvelous, adorable, nice, and kind person. A woman is a nation builder and mother of all nations. What is violence? Violence can be defined as the intentional use of physical force or power against another person, community, or country, which can cause death, psychological stress. Definitely, women are more affected by violence in the society. Every woman are the end of every act of violence in the society. Statistics has also supported that out of 40% of people affected by violence in the society, 3% are women, while 7% are men. But there are a lot of causes of violence against women. One of it is Asian cultural tradition. The Asian cultural tradition has crept into the modern world, thereby eluding a large number of people in the society to have the mentality that female talk should not be in school. Women in the past period are deprived of the right to education, and this helps them to not have anything to boast about, or when men are bragging about their success. According to tradition, they believe women should not be equal as men, because men are the breadwinner of the family, while women will later end up in the kitchen. And this really affects the woman psychologically. Also, in institutions and companies, women are refused to work with them because they believe women are inefficient. And some companies believe that if women work with them, they will go into bankruptcy or incur loss. Also, in some churches, they also believe that women should not be allowed to handle any situation or even be pastors. This will make them less privileged in the society. Also, some women are cast away by their colleagues in the workplace, especially organizations owned by men. They do not want women to work with them because they believe women are fragile and they do not have strong goals, and they don't want them to have to perform a heavy workload meant for men. In public affairs, women are not allowed to make decisions. Society believes that any decision made by a woman is non-rational decision or worthlessness. In some societies, they believe that disfranchisement in election, that they do not allow women to vote or to be voted for because of their gender. A popular Nigerian musician, Osinachi Nwachukwu, who died due to the domestic violence, though she was violated by her right, but she could not file a lawsuit against her so-called husband. Though men are egoistic, but are they supposed to misuse this opportunity on nation builders? No. I will list the effects of all these causes. We have psychological stress. Such woman will be psychological stress. She will go through trauma. She will find it difficult to socialize with people in the society. She will be depressed and be aggressive with people. Also, we have the economic society effect. The woman will be a liability to the society. She will be a liability to the church. She will also be a liability to herself. Now, my colleague will be taking the prevention. Let's take a look at the prevention or how to prevent these dangerous habits. One, we can prevent it by creating or organizing educational programs. The society can create or organize educational programs that will educate the students about the danger and how to prevent violence. Awareness campaign. The society can carry out awareness campaigns by moving around, educating the public about gender violence against women. Organizing programs like this will also help to eradicate gender violence against women, or community in eradicating this problem. When community are in support of the women and not siding the men when they have been affected, individually, the victim should also speak out and speak up. Because a closed mouth is a closed destiny. They should speak to a close friend or to the government, which can help them to make sure that their rights are not violated. Punishment of the criminals. If the criminals go scot-free, they will want to repeat acts again, which will make the crime rate in the society which will make the crime rate in the society increase. The government should make sure the criminals not go scot-free by punishing them or jailing them. The organization of non-government organizations should also be created where women can run to when they are traumatized or depressed. With this, me and my colleague believe with this point, and this solution will create a long-lasting solution to this problem caused by violence against women. And the death of a woman is the loss of the world. Thank you.
A round of applause for them once again. That's the powerful presentation. So we'll be calling on the next two presenters, Salahuddin Aliyah Mutunrayo and Azuka Stephanie. We'll be calling them on stage. A round of applause for them as they make their presentation.
Insecurity, emotional instability, violence. Violence is one of the most frequent human rights violations in the world. I understand and recognize that all people of all genders can experience violence, but women are more subjected to violence than men. Why is this happening? Why are women more subjected to violence than men? Ladies and gentlemen, I am Azuka Stephanie. I'm here with me, and we are here to speak on the topic that said, analyzing on the topic that said violence against women. The United Nations defines violence against women as an act of gender-based violence that can happen physically, mentally, or sexual to harm the woman. And this violence can occur in public or even in the private lives of the woman. Violence can happen in many ways. Sexual violence, also known as intimate partner violence, is one of the major forms of violence. Gender-based violence is another thing. The United Nations, globally, WHO, World Health Organization, a survey that was published by them, proved that a third of women have been subjected to violence, one form of violence or the other. Another survey published that 73% female journalists have been subjected to violence either online or in public. Women are suffering from men's powerful and shameful acts. Men, do you know that every time we liberate a woman, we liberate a man? If you kill a woman, you kill a man also. A report that was published by the DEA of the US nation proves that a psycho man, kills 12 women after raping, violating them. And he didn't just dump their bodies on the street. He put their bodies to a prison. Anytime he needed meat, just go and cut a chunk from their body and eat. How is that? Why is that happening? You say we are insecure. How do you expect us to be secure with violence that are happening in society? You say we can't attend social gatherings and do some jobs that are said by. How do you expect us to do that? By violence of mankind. A lot of men believe that women's emotional instability deprives them of doing some work. They even made an acronym for us, WEEK, which means Women's Education Ends at Kitchen. I strongly disagree with this. A woman is strong. Because she's crying does not mean she's insecure. Because she's crying does not mean she's not strong. Crying is a way of letting out your emotions. You are crying does not mean that you are weak. You crying does not mean that you are emotionally instable. I'll call on my colleague to speak more on violence. We have so many forms of violence. We have sexual assault, physical injury. And what is the cause of this violence? Some research said inability to handle emotions. That shouldn't be a reason for a woman to be violated. Her behavior, character, dressing, appearance shouldn't be a reason for a woman to be violated. What are the consequences of this violence? We have PTSD, post-traumatic traumatic disorder. After a woman is being violated, she has PTSD, she has phobia, she has fear of talking to men, she has fear of attending social gatherings, and so many others. We also have other forms of violence. We also have enforcing domestic violence on female children. We have excluding women from participating in politics, like presidential position. This year, a woman wanted to contest for the presidential post, but what we Nigerians said, we said a woman want to rule us. No. Why? We have so many problems. And what is the solution? If a woman has said, we have to talk, we have to say our rights, we have to defend so many people. And women, we have this ability. We are kind of shy, not really shy. And I also believe there should be a period where schools, we talk about sex education. For instance, when I'm menstruating, people don't want to listen to it because they'll be like, oh, a woman menstruating. But that's what our parents do to give birth to us. Self-defense. Self-defense. I believe a school should also have a period like karate, judo, taekwondo, teaching students, not only female, how to fight, how to defend themselves. We also enforcement of license. For instance, in Nigeria, there is a constitution that says no one is above the law. Is that so in Nigeria? No, that's not so. For instance, when like a student from high class raped a girl from low class and the girl reported, then after being reported, the rapist will go scot-free, but the victim will be the one to suffer because them from the high class, they are above the law. They can do anything they want. And in Nigeria, we need to set a rule, a law that everybody must follow. You are rich, you are not rich. You are influential, you are not influential. You are wealthy, you are not wealthy. That doesn't matter. As far as you violate the rules, you have the right to be punished. You don't have the right to be you don't have the right to violate rules if you don't want to be punished. Let's also look. What about if women, if we are being violated? What are the we want to have a clean nation, a clean society, and a country without a woman is not supposed to call a country because that's a non-country. It's not even existing. Because what happens in a country without women? We are the wonderful ones to give them advice, to back them up, to give them support. Men not actually survive. They survive with our support. The way we support them, the way we give them advice, the way they are their passport. So a country without women, it's not a country. I also have another one. Okay, now let's move on to. Allow me to name some successful women in the world. We have Indra Nuni, a successful woman entrepreneur and a former chief executive of Pepsi Company. We have Mary Bala, we have Meg Whitman, we have Sherry Sandberg, Oprah Winfrey, we have Sarah Blakely. A worry-free economy is not something that we can do over time. It's not something we can plan on today and to happen tomorrow. If we want to have a clear economy, we need to be based on it. We need to allow the women to participate in things that men allow them not to participate. Discrimination is not something that women should be suffering. Discrimination is not something that women should take upon. Insecurity is not something that a woman should take upon. And with this, we shall end our debate. Thank you.
A round of applause for them. All right, so, okay, ma'am. All right, please, we welcome the HOD to give a view on that. I am sure we really enjoyed that. As soon as we started, I told the organizers of the program that we just started this program now, that this is the crux of the matter. This is why we are here. Please, children, give yourself a round of applause. I thought it is important to mention this before the spirit dies down. And this is to you directly. If you're a lady in the house, it is to you. If you're a girl in the house, it's to you. A lot of things happen now, especially on social media. How many of you have watched a lot of musical videos? Different musical videos? Yes, which one have you watched? Calm down, baby, calm down, calm down. Okay, good. I have more. One question I ask myself each time I watch these musical videos is, why are the men totally dressed and the women naked? Have you noticed that? The women will come in pants and bra. Really whining now. And then you know, okay, I'm going to still I shall carry this video. I shall fully dress me. Even the show, I shall carry this video. Use to make like 5 dresses, 2 or 4. So why are the ladies dancing for a shacket naked? Because of fame. No, because they make you feel that way. But Ashake is famous and is not naked. He's a man. He's famous. Even the dancers are not famous. You don't even know their names. Those naked dancers are not famous. You don't know their name. So why do they have to tell you to be naked in a video? And a lot of you are posting content now. You go into your bedroom, you remove your clothes, and then you dance in front of your camera, and then you're uploading it. What are you doing? And you want to be a mother of a nation. Which nation will you mother that way? You will be a mother, not a mother. A woman who projects herself as naked is a mother, not a mother. Why? Your parents don't see you, because that is what is happening right now. On TikTok, you go on TikTok, girls will go into the room, and then they remove their clothes, and they whine and whine and whine in front of TikTok without their parents knowing. And then you upload it on TikTok. No, you cannot build a nation like that. How many of you know Okoji Ewela? Who is she? Right now, who is she? Please come and tell me. I want them to hear her. She said, if you have confidence, use the mic. Thank you. The CEO of World Trade Organization. How many times have you seen her naked? Even her hair is not open. Even her hair, you will never see her with her hair open. She has her design scarf that she will push to a corner. And she's a CEO. Very rich, plenty money, any dollars, any hard currency you can think of. And now you think that because they ask you, oh, if I don't dance naked, I will not be popular. If I will not be poor. No, don't put it like because we are everybody. You will not be poor. Yes? Come, my darling.
All of this is that many women are left
They didn't hear her. That was what I wanted her to use. That mic is not particularly constant. The mic is behaving like Nigeria. We are out and then we are back again.
I feel that many of the men are left as head of their family, so they feel very vulnerable and they have to do one thing or the other to make the family.
That's true. That is true. A lot of men are not taking up their responsibilities anymore due to the hard economy. And the women become vulnerable, and so they do all sorts of things in order to keep the family. That is not an excuse, my sister. That's the world we live in, I know. But you also have some other women who are not doing these things and they are fine. So I thought I should add that because right now a lot of us relate online. Somebody is online when I'm talking. Hello, you see, what are you watching? What are you watching? What? What? You see, we are talking and you're watching. You are a boy. This is for boys too. Because a lot of boys are not talking. I don't want to address girls alone. A lot of boys are not talking anymore. Boys don't talk anymore. They don't. Boys used to talk. Now they don't talk anymore. They interact with their gadgets. They don't talk. And so when you ask them to stand and talk, they become shy. Give me a break. Our boys are becoming shy. Why? You can see we are talking now. He's on his gadgets. He's typing. If I come, come, my darling. Please clap for him. Clap for him. Tell me something about gender-based violence. Anything.
We don't want people to violate women again.
We don't want people to violate women again. Clap for him. So thank you. Ladies, did you hear what I said? You can upload wonderful content. On TikTok, there are different things you can do. Show your skills, show your talent, but please don't go up there podcasting yourself naked. Thank you very much.
Round of applause for the issue. Okay. All right, we don't know if we want to accept questions, especially from students, from anybody on the topic. Okay.
Students, it's time for you to call, especially those at the back. Do you have any contribution from your end? Do you have any questions from you? No, not our speakers.
Okay, you have a question? Please give her the mic. Let her ask her question, please. Within 1 minute. Okay, more questions? Do we have questions? Okay. Anybody can ask questions from here. Okay. Are we trying to question? Organizations that fight for the right to children. How can they be access? Okay, we have more questions.
So sometimes I used to think that auntie and I'm serious. So somebody just tell me that better for people that you don't die.
Okay. All right. Okay, I think that will. All right.
NGOs, non-governmental organization, civil society organization. Please talk about it.
When you go online, the good thing about your generation is that you have access to justice. When you go online and you Google NGOs defending gender-based violence, you will see a lot of contact there. As I'm here, I've received more than 2 or 3 phone calls from, I don't know, I went online, I saw your number, and I decided to call you. Those numbers are active. The National Human Rights Commission is there. The National Center for Human Rights is there. There are so many. So just go online. The way you use your online platform to do research, just search for them there. They just say NGOs in defending women in Oyo State. If you are in Oyo State or in Nigeria, anywhere, just Google it. You will have it there, and consider at least for that 2 or 3 of their numbers, and at least one of them will respond to you. They are the nearest police station. There is a gender-based prevention office, human rights desks, gender desks in all the police stations. Please contact them. They have been trained by our organization and so many organizations to attend to victims of gender-based violence. I think have I answered you? Okay. FIDA, yes, I'm a member of FIDA, Federation of Women Lawyers. Just Google it, Federation of Women Lawyers. For any organization in charge of protecting or promoting women's rights or human rights, we've seen more than 100 of them. Most of us, we have online presence. For people that don't have physical presence, we have online presence, and they will intervene. Somebody talked about the own question this one. Yes, all the laws are there. Not extended that we have so many laws. We have more than 50 laws on prevention of violence against women. But the truth is that most women are not even ready to report. They're not ready to report. Most times I'll receive call. I'm calling on behalf of my sister. My sister is going through violence. Or I tell your sister to contact me, because when you go to court, she is the PW1, prosecution witness 1. Even if you report, they want to see the victim. The victim must endorse your statement. The victim is the complainant. You can only amplify her voice. You cannot be the voice. So most times they will not come. I was okay. I just want you to threaten the man. Tell him not to beat me again. That is the report I want you to make. I said, okay, let me prosecute. I don't want prosecution. Just warn him. Tell him not to beat me. Let the guy undertaking. So you come to my office, you will see undertaking. I will not beat my wife again. But he will go back and do it. When he calls the man will call him, he has done it again. So at the time, I tell them that, see, domestic violence is a crime. If this person writes state undertaking and I don't go ahead to prosecute, I may be seen to be compounding crime. So my dear, most times, because of our ineffective judiciary, sometimes they even try to push to get justice in the court. Like I said, some of them have not gathered enough evidence. So we are left with nothing to work with. So the woman is crying, I did not get justice. The truth is we work on evidence, not based on sentiment. Thank you. So gather your evidence. If somebody has been violated, record it. A guy is threatening you, or if there's a child threatening you, bring that child, and I can tell you, I'll make sure that man sees the 4 walls of the prison.
Sexual assault forensic. Sexual assault forensic.
Yes, when someone is raped, don't say a woman, anybody can be a victim of assault. Some boys are also being raped by their female caregiver. We receive such complaint. So when you have such situations, sexual assault, there is a place you go to. In Lagos, they call it Mirabel Center. When you go through sexual violation, please don't go and have your bag. I know you want to prevent sexual diseases by trying to clean up immediately. But when you do that, you have killed the evidence. So once you have experienced sexual assault and you report, immediately we refer you to the Mirabel Center. They are trained medical practitioners. They will take those evidence, they'll be to go and read and do all of that. You understand? They will take fingerprints just to get evidence against that person. So when they arrest that person, the fingerprint of the person will match your body, the fingerprint on in his hand, and all of that will do that. And then his sperm or his saliva, he said he kissed me, he did this and that. They'll get it. So end up, yeah, he sweat. They'll use all of that to gather evidence. So with that, they'll say, okay, you can go and have your brother. So that's what that is. Just to gather evidence for prosecution.
I have a question. Please. And in some cultures in Yoruba, they say when you've gotten married, they don't want to see your parents out. So if the man is now threatening you and beating you and doing all that, and you can't disobey your parents, so what will you do?
Okay. Now, when we have such situation, it's a big problem. Culture and nature is a problem in promoting one of the factors that promote violence against women. I understand not just the Yoruba culture, so many cultures, they will tell you as a girl child, you have a 10th seat in this house. Most women are not entitled to inheritance in Nigeria, but there is a law that is superior to that culture. You understand? Every culture is inferior to the law. The Constitution is supreme. So, if your parents, when women come to meet us and said, I'm going through violence in my father's house, and when I was getting married, they said I must remain married till death do you apart. It's only your dead body we want to see in this house. Parents, please stop telling your children that kind of, and giving them that kind of advice. Let's change such harmful traditional and cultural practices. You will have preferred having your child live, have a living child than a dead child. When you tell that child that you want to manage to work, but at the same time, you have also sent a strong signal for her not to come back home. I had a case like that, the girl died. And when the parent came for me to go and prosecute the husband, I said, you are the one that killed your daughter. When Chinyere came, I was trying to push to make sure that she leaves the house and gets to get solution. She said, my parents said, I'm the last child. If the marriage of my siblings would work, my own must work. So this particular day, the husband beat her up and she refused to go home. She lodged in an hotel. 2-3 days had internal injury, but she wouldn't tell her parents that she's no longer at home. At the end of the day, when the brother called, I said, I've been calling you, why you not? He said nothing. Then the house girl that saw that the girl she got to stay with her, I saw everything. I said, Uncle, he took her phone to the bathroom. Uncle, and he stopped and said, I saw, it is me. Actually, we're not at home. The husband beat her, and we are now in hotel. You understand? So she refused to go to the hospital. She said, you go and buy her paracetamol and the rest. He described the hotel. The brother, police officer, came, traced the hotel, and saw the sister in very bad condition. He took her to Al-Jolad around Bariga. They tried to stabilize her. That's okay, let me just go to work and report back. At Maryland, they called me to come back. When he came, they said, the girl is dead. Why? She had internal injury. She couldn't receive, if she had gone to the hospital to report or went home, you understand, when she could get help, that girl wouldn't have died. But she died. Why? Because her parents said, oh, she must not come home alive. She must make her marriage work. Marriage did not work, so she ended up not coming home. So parents came and said, we must make sure we get justice. I said, what kind of justice now? Evidence has been destroyed.
At the end of the day, because it took us like a week or so for us to get this, they said, it is another person that beat her. We cannot go getting justice. So please, parents, we must begin, like I said in my presentation, we must begin to question some culture. Yes. Any other one? You can leave an email and phone number. If you have no question at private section or private counseling, will be available to give you. Thank you.
A round of applause for her. One more time, I want us to give our students a round of applause. It's not easy. I need to stand at the front and then give a speech. All right, thank you so very much. And also, I would want us to appreciate everything you saw here from the students comes from somewhere. So there's a need for us to recognize their teachers that took their time to train them, to also, put them through all these things. Please, masters, can you just rise up as we appreciate you? Please, a round of applause for them. Please, can you come out, please? Please, can you come out? Can we keep clapping, everybody? We can do better as they come out.
Absolutely delighted to do it. Because the job of a teacher is not easy. I am a teacher, so I know that it is not easy. We appreciate it. We are doing a very good job. And not a small bit at all. To train people to become leaders. And then they become leaders and they see the training. And God will bless you. And will also reward you. So we are saying a big thank you on behalf of the Student Association. The program is organized by the Student Association of the Department of Peace, Security, and Service. And so, thank you very, very much to you for coming. Thank you very much. On behalf of the department, we are going to give you a small token. Each school will get 10,000 naira. Let's appreciate that.
Thank you so very much, Father. All right, okay, there is an award presentation for work, and then we will be calling Mr. Alamu for the presentation of the award to Chaplain James Mercy.
Sorry about that. That award is going to be given by Ms. Fumi Akintayo.
Good afternoon, everybody. On behalf of Department of Peace, Security, and Humanitarian Studies Students Association, I would like to present the award of appreciation. I would like to present this award of appreciation to World Humanitarian Organization for Peace and Equity in recognition of the organization's support towards the success of the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women, today, 25th November 2023.
So I want to say thank you for this award. We really appreciate it. I'm going to deliver your message back to the Government Council of World Organization for Peace and Equity. Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much, man. All right, so now we are moving to the vote of thanks. We are moving to the vote of thanks. And we call on stage Mr. Alamu for the vote of thanks. Mr. Alamu for the vote of thanks. A round of applause for him, everybody. The head of the department, representative of the World Humanitarian Organization for Peace and Equity, our invited guests and resource persons, our esteemed students from different various secondary schools, ladies and gentlemen. For the past 4 hours or thereabouts, we have listened to a series of lectures on violence against women and girls. I must say the lecture and indeed enlightened us and opened our eyes to different types of violence and remedies. We are indeed grateful, and we believe the exposure will go a long way to avert future occurrences, and it will help us in our future endeavor. As we all go back to our various destinations, I want to wish us a safe journey, and I wish you a happy day. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So we are taking the prayer for that. Thank you. All right, for the two schools, please, your award, your certificate of participation will be sent to you. Your certificate of participation will be sent later. Thank you. So we call on Alaji for the closing prayer. Okay. And after the closing prayer, we are going to have a group photograph with the students and with everybody. Thank you. Welcome, sir.
We thank God, the creator of the heaven and the earth, that has given us this opportunity of witnessing this kind of program today. The facilitators, we really thank you. And this is the kind of things that being a student requires. It's not just what is, but gaining experience. We sincerely thank you. God will continue to protect you against evil whispers of men and the jinn alike. God will grant us all things that are good in this world and in the hereafter. To the participants, the lecturers, the virtual lecturers, the physical lecturers, God will continue to raise your stakes. And to the students, God will continue to make you a reckoning for your parents. You will achieve the greater heights. And to my co-students, as we are approaching the examination, we pray for our success.
All right, we end with the national anthem right now. Can we all rise up for the national anthem? DJ. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Okay, for the photograph now. Please, one. Okay, please, we are moving outside. The group and
Before people depart, committed to appreciate all those that are online following this program. We appreciate your contact, we appreciate the contributions, we appreciate everything you have done for time this program. May the good Lord bless you and replenish you. Thank you, and God bless us all. Amen. So please, we can go outside. The two schools, please, will be having our group photograph. Please, outside, can we just put outside?
For our online attendees, now might be the time to share your video. If you'd like to take a photo of we who are gathered here, thank you so much for attending. We really appreciate you. We'll give them a few more moments to see if they come back with a live video. But again, this is Andrew Williams Jr., and I've been honored to host this event. And I look forward to also providing you with the opportunity to host your events as well. I'm Andrew at Andrew Networks, so please feel free to contact me directly. In 2024, we'll be expanding our reach just from Facebook to the wider terrestrial audience. We need content. So it's very important for you to plan in advance. This is at no cost to you for accessing this platform, but we do need to have a plan in advance. So take a look at 2024. Think about events that are upcoming, plan in advance, and then schedule it as soon as possible so that we can accommodate your activity around the world.
Very good. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Again, we'll give them a few more moments to see if they come back. If not, I'm going to officially end today's show. We'll give them a few more moments. But if not, then we're going to end today's show. We'll pick it up later. In the meantime, I'm going to share my screen with today's event. So that in closing, we can go out like we came in.
Yeah.
So thanks everyone here. We're going to end today's show. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Thank you.
Love to all.